Hey there, ready to dive in?
Always.
You're curious about Alloy, this company that claims to be more than just another agency.
Right, right.
So today we're going beyond the surface, using their website to really understand what makes them different.
And that's key in such a crowded market. Wouldn't you say? What sets them apart from the rest?
Well, they come out swinging with this tagline: "We blend imagination and intent to create stories that resonate and experiences that inspire." Okay, maybe not totally jargon-free, but it's definitely catchy.
Yeah, yeah.
What do you make of it?
It reveals a shift in perspective. They're not just about creating marketing materials, it's about the why behind them.
I see.
That resonates with businesses looking for more than just a pretty website.
And they back it up with their services.
Yeah.
Sure, there's web design and development, as you'd expect.
Right.
But then there's tech strategy, UX design. It's like they're thinking about the whole user journey, not just one piece of it.
Precisely. They're acknowledging that in our digital world, a seamless experience is crucial. It's about meeting your audience where they are, whether that's on a website, an app, or even a social media platform.
So it's less about individual projects, more about creating a cohesive brand experience across all these different touch points.
Exactly.
Okay,
And to really grasp their approach, let's look at some examples.
love a good example.
Their client list is surprisingly diverse. Fintech, healthcare, even nonprofits. Take Tricentis, a software testing company. Alloy helped them create a frictionless experience for their customers.
Okay, break that down for me. What does frictionless experience actually look like in practice?
Well, they combined compelling messaging and content with intuitive UX design. Think about it. When you're on a website, you want clear information, easy navigation, and a design that feels modern and trustworthy.
Makes sense. It's about creating a positive emotional connection with the brand through every interaction.
Exactly. And it takes a deep understanding of user behavior and technology to pull it off.
And speaking of different industries, they also worked with Paysend, a global payments company. They needed help launching in the US and Latin America.
And this is where Alloy's strategic thinking really comes into play. They used media relations, content tailored to each market, and even good old-fashioned PR to help Paysend connect with new audiences.
So they're not just blindly applying the same tactics everywhere. They're adapting their approach based on the specific market and the client's goals. Clever.
Exactly. And it demonstrates a key insight that what works for a tech company in one part of the world might not resonate in another.
It's like they're speaking different marketing languages depending on the audience. That's impressive. Okay, so we've got high-tech software and international finance. What about something a little more everyday?
Well, they also worked with S&T Bank, and they managed to make banking, dare I say, enjoyable.
Banking, enjoy. Okay, now you have to tell me more.
Sure.
How did they pull that off? Because banking isn't exactly known for being, fun and exciting.
It all comes down to understanding user needs and pain points.
Right.
Alloy redesigned S&T Bank's online presence, their website, their app, even their in-branch digital kiosks. They focused on user-friendly design, personalized content, and seamless integration across all platforms.
So it's about making the experience intuitive and accessible, even enjoyable, regardless of how you choose to interact with the bank.
Precisely. They essentially took a process that's often seen as a chore and transformed it into something that's easy and even, dare I say, delightful to use.
It sounds like they're really challenging the status quo, proving that even industries like banking can benefit from a more human-centered approach to technology. But I'm curious, how does Alloy position itself? Is it all about client work?
That's just one piece of the puzzle. They go beyond just executing projects. Remember their claim of being more than a traditional agency. They back it up by establishing themselves as thought leaders in the industry.
Okay, I'm intrigued. How do they do that?
One way is through their online presence. They have a blog and news section on their website that's packed with insightful content. We're talking articles like how to build real relationships with B2B buyers at scale, and AI's impact on web design and development today.
So they're not just talking about their services. They're actually sharing valuable knowledge and insights.
Right.
It's like they're giving away free advice.
Precisely. And that's a smart strategy. It builds trust with potential clients and positions them as experts in their field.
It's like they're saying, we know what we're doing, and we're happy to share our knowledge. No wonder people are drawn to them.
Exactly. And it goes beyond just attracting clients. By tackling complex topics like the impact of AI on web design, they're demonstrating a forward-thinking mentality. This resonates with businesses looking for a partner who can help them navigate the ever-changing digital landscape.
It's like they're saying, we're not just keeping up with the trends, we're ahead of them. That's got to be reassuring for businesses feeling overwhelmed by the pace of change.
Absolutely. And it's a brilliant way to differentiate themselves from more traditional agencies that might be stuck in their ways.
So to sum it up, they're combining creative vision with tech savvy and a genuine desire to educate and empower their audience.
Exactly. And that brings us back to their tagline, blending imagination and intent. It's not just a catchy phrase, it's the driving force behind everything they do.
It's like they're proving that you don't have to choose between creativity and strategy. You can have both.
And that's a powerful message in today's business world, but it does make you wonder, how do they make it all work financially? They have this diverse client base, they're creating all this content. What's the business model behind it all?
It's the million-dollar question, right? While we don't have access to their books, we can make some educated guesses based on what we've seen.
Right. For their client work, they likely use a project-based fee structure or retainers, depending on the scope of work. Something like that Tricentis project, for example, probably involved a significant investment from the client.
Which makes sense, considering the level of expertise and the results they achieved. But what about the thought leadership stuff, the blog posts, the articles? Are they really just giving that away for free?
On the surface, it might seem that way, but there's a strategic purpose behind it. It's all about building brand awareness, establishing themselves as thought leaders, and attracting potential clients.
It's like they're saying, we're so confident in our abilities that we're willing to give away some of our knowledge for free. And if you like what you see, we'd love to work with you.
Exactly. It's a long-term strategy that can pay off in a big way. By becoming a trusted resource, they're attracting clients who are actively looking for their expertise.
It's a win-win. Clients get valuable insights, and Alloy gets to showcase their skills and attract new business. But let's talk about the elephant in the room for a second. No business model is perfect, and even the most innovative companies face challenges. So what are the potential downsides to Alloy's approach? What are the risks they need to be aware of?
That's a great question, and it's important to consider the potential pitfalls. One challenge could be maintaining a cohesive brand identity while operating across so many different disciplines. They need to ensure that all their services, from web design to PR, feel like part of a unified whole, not a collection of disconnected offerings.
It's like being a multi-talented performer.
Yeah.
You have to make sure all your acts flow together seamlessly so the audience doesn't get confused or lose interest.
Precisely. Another challenge could be staying ahead of the technological curve. They've positioned themselves as a tech-forward agency, which is smart, but it also means they need to constantly adapt and evolve to avoid becoming obsolete.
It's a double-edged sword. Being at the forefront of innovation is exciting, but it also means you can never rest on your laurels. You have to be willing to constantly learn, experiment, and even pivot if necessary.
Absolutely. And then there's the challenge of managing growth. As a company grows, it can be difficult to maintain the same level of agility and responsiveness that characterized its early stages. There's more bureaucracy, more layers of decision-making, and potentially a slower pace of innovation.
It's like the classic startup dilemma. How do you scale without losing the spark, the entrepreneurial spirit that made you successful in the first place?
Exactly. Alloy needs to find ways to preserve that nimble, innovative culture, even as they grow larger and more complex.
It's a delicate balancing act. But from what we've seen so far, they seem to have a good handle on it. They're strategic, they're adaptable, and they're not afraid to challenge the status quo. But let's not forget about another important aspect of their company culture that we haven't touched on yet: diversity and inclusion. In an industry that hasn't always been the most welcoming to everyone, Alloy seems to be making a conscious effort to be different. And that's something we can't just gloss over. Diversity and inclusion, they're not just buzzwords. They're essential for any company that wants to thrive in today's world, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. And while we don't have a detailed look at Alloy's internal initiatives, their outward-facing work speaks volumes. Remember their client list: fintech, healthcare, nonprofits. It's a diverse range of industries tackling a variety of challenges.
It's like they're walking the walk, not just talking the talk. They're choosing to work with organizations that are making a positive impact. And that in itself speaks to their values.
Exactly. And let's not forget the importance of representation. When you have a team with diverse backgrounds and perspectives, you're better equipped to connect with a wider audience. It leads to more creative, more impactful work.
It's about bringing a variety of viewpoints to the table, understanding the nuances of different communities and cultures. It just makes good business sense.
Precisely. And beyond that, it fosters a more inclusive and innovative company culture. When people feel seen and heard, they're more likely to contribute their best ideas, to feel a sense of belonging, and that ultimately benefits everyone.
It's about creating a virtuous cycle. Diversity breeds innovation, innovation breeds success, and success allows you to attract and retain even more diverse talent. It's a win-win for everyone involved.
Exactly. Now, shifting gears slightly, we've talked about Alloy's innovative approach, their client work, their thought leadership, but there's another layer to their story that we need to address: their commitment to social impact.
Right. It's not just about being a successful business. It's about using their platform to make a difference in the world. And that seems to be baked into their DNA.
It does. While we don't have specifics on their initiatives, their work with nonprofits and their focus on purpose-driven marketing suggests a genuine desire to create positive change.
It's like they understand that consumers are becoming more discerning. They want to support businesses that align with their values, that are actively making the world a better place.
Exactly. And Alloy seems to be tapping into that desire. They're not just helping their clients sell more products or services, they're helping them connect with their audience on a deeper level, to build relationships based on shared values and a common purpose.
It's about moving beyond transactions and towards a more meaningful exchange. And that's a powerful proposition for businesses and consumers alike.
It is, and it speaks to a larger trend of businesses recognizing their responsibility to be a force for good in the world.
So after diving deep into Alloy's website, their work, their philosophy, there's one question that keeps coming back to me. Is this the future of agencies?
It's a bold question. While I can't predict the future, I do think Alloy presents a compelling model for what a modern agency can be. They've successfully blended strategic thinking, technological fluency, a commitment to diversity and inclusion, and a passion for social impact.
It's like they've cracked the code of staying relevant in a constantly evolving landscape. They're not just keeping up, they're setting the pace.
Precisely. And that's an inspiring takeaway for any business, regardless of industry. It's a testament to the power of adaptability, innovation, and a commitment to values-driven work.
So what's the one key insight you hope our listener takes away from this deep dive?
In today's world, success isn't just about what you do, it's about how you do it. Alloy demonstrates that by embracing change, prioritizing people, and staying true to your values, you can achieve remarkable things.
Beautifully said. And on that note, we encourage you to continue exploring Alloy's world. Check out their website, read their blog posts, and see for yourself what makes their approach so unique.
You might just find some inspiration for your own journey.
Until next time, keep those brains engaged, and we'll catch you on the next deep dive.